The trade deadline was absolutely bananas. We have a lot of new closers in different places. We have a lot of new bats like Cedric Mullins and Ramon in new places. Those names and more on today's action-packed episode of Locked On Fantasy Baseball.
You are Locked On Fantasy Baseball, your daily fantasy baseball podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, fantasy baseball fanatics, and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Baseball podcast, brought to you by the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. As always, we're your number one source of fantasy baseball knowledge, and thank you for making us your first listen each and every day. I'm your host, Dominic Martino, here as always with my co-host, my brother, my partner in crime, Matthew Wadney. As you can see if you're watching on YouTube, and if you are watching on YouTube and you haven't already, hit that little bell below. It's going to subscribe you to the channel and give you notification every time we drop a new episode. Or if you're listening on the audio side of things, once again, make sure you subscribe. And if you're listening on a platform like Apple or Spotify, that allows 5-star ratings and reviews. We would truly appreciate it if you do that for us as well. And lastly, and what's going to help you win that Locked On Fantasy Baseball Championship is joining Matt and I on the Insider's Track. Through the Insider's Track, you're going to get those instant prospect call-up notifications. You're going to get, when we do our waiver wire episodes, we're going to rank those guys for you, and just so much more than we can offer in these 30-minute episodes. And the link is for the Insider's Track is in the bio wherever you're listening, watching, and it's available on any of our social media platforms. And this episode is brought to you by 5-Hour Energy Transfusion. Go to 5hourenergy.com today and use the promo code LOCKEDONGOLF to receive 20% off your order. Only valid through September 30th. Order Transfusion flavored 5-Hour Energy shots today. And Matt, not maybe as many big names as we thought were going to be moved during the trade deadline, but definitely some fantasy impactful stuff here. So we have a bunch of names that, have been impacted by the trade deadline. May not all of them have been traded or, have moved on from their teams, but a lot of fantasy impactful stuff. So you're going to want to lock on for this whole episode. But Matt, where are we going first? My brother.
Yeah, I mean, we're mentioning the trade deadline. Let's not gloss over it, right? It was a crazy day. Quick second. Favorite landing spot of all.
Let's do it.
Did you hear me?
I think I interrupted you as you went off there. I'm sorry, brother. I heard favorite landing spot. Was that the question?
Yeah. Of all the people that got traded today, where was your favorite landing spot for the player?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Does it have to be someone that was traded today? Could it be someone that was traded yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay, so the first one that came to my mind, it put me on the spot, is Johan Durant to the Phillies. He is having a great year. I think it's like, if I remember correctly, 2.01 ERA, and this is off the top of the head. It's not even pulled up. 118 WHIP, well over a K per 9. Not too many saves because the Twins haven't been great, but hey, gets to go over to a Phillies team who hasn't really had anyone settle into that closer's role and been dominant. Johan Durant could do that. I believe he's still 26, 27 years old. Just going to be very impactful there in Philly, my opinion. So, Matt, I reversed the question back at you. I hope you are prepared. Your favorite landing spot for someone who's got traded here at the trade deadline.
So it's kind of crazy, but I mean, I really like just the upside of what the trade, which was not on my bingo card whatsoever, is Shane Bieber getting traded to Toronto. I think that's actually an interesting spot. The Guardians, yes, they're a good team, but I feel like the upside lies with Toronto and that team behind him and the win potential the way they're playing right now. I think it's an interesting landing spot and definitely becomes the number one there. So I think it's one of the best landing spots humanly possible. And also notable mentions of players that now become irrelevant: Camilo Duvall, Helsley, and others in the bullpen specifically that got completely torched to set up roles that were now closers. So it was a good one. But I guess let's get the show, right? I guess what everybody's here for.
I do have one comment though. I love the Bieber take, Matt, just because Toronto's actually tied for the most wins in baseball. Cleveland, sitting 500, mediocre, but great take on Bieber. And let's get the show rolling, Matt. Let's get the show rolling. So let's add players.
All right. So, Mr. Dennis Santana is now. I have to get to the actual page. Hang tight. Is now the new closer for the Pittsburgh Pirates. David Bednar is left, and this is good. right? We now have a clear path of, okay, who's the next man up? Who's the next one in the rotation? And, do we like this, or is it just, hey, is this going to be the flavor of the month until they kind of figure it out? I actually like what he's done on the season. He has a 136 ERA through 46 innings. He has 38 strikeouts to boot, which is, a little bit under what I like in terms of, closers. I like them, well over a K per inning, minimum a K per inning. But at least, hey, he's able to hold it down. He does have 6 saves on the season, and he should get all the opportunities moving forward as long as he doesn't, put lose the job on his own. He's only given up 1 home run through 46 innings too, which I really like, and in total 8 runs all season long. So that's actually like really good. And now, obviously, it's a little bit different of having the pressure in the ninth, but I think Santana, is literally just either going to make or break himself and decide whether he can run away with this job or not. And right now, based off the performance this year, I actually think he's going to hold on to it.
Matt, well said. Dennis Santana was somebody at the beginning of the year when Bednar was underperforming and got hurt, that he was on the must-add players, but we didn't give him the vote of confidence that we're kind of giving him here tonight. Just because he's been performing well, all the underlying stuff looks really good. Not so much major changes in the repertoire, because actually, if you look at the underlying stuff for Dennis Santana last year, he deserved to have better numbers than he did last year. Pitching very well. The Pirates aren't going to be a huge team that wins a lot of games, but 22% owned for Dennis Santana, very widely available. NL only leagues must add. 15s must add. Your deep 12s must add, especially if you need saves. Almost anywhere you need the saves, Santana's going to get the job done over there, give you good ratios. Not the strikeouts, as Matt mentioned, but I like Dennis Santana a lot. Let's go on to another closer who, in a way, was impacted by the trade deadline, right? Alex Vesia of the Dodgers. The Dodgers don't go out there and get a big name closer. A little bit shocking, if you ask me. Tanner Scott's down. Blake Trinan, coming off the IL has been, all right, but Vesia has been really, really good. Vesia on the season, 51 appearances, 2 wins, 4 saves, 2.42 ERA, and 0.90 WHIP. 44 innings pitched and 62 strikeouts. He's been a dog. He's got the last save for the Dodgers, which came on July 29th. He went, 1 inning, got the saves, 2 strikeouts, no earned runs, and didn't give any hits or walks. He's just been really good. You got to ride the wave here. The Dodgers are a really good team. I still guarantee that the Dodgers dodger, and I don't think Vesia necessarily gets every single save. But I think he leads the way there in the Dodgers bullpen and does get the majority, because if the Dodgers want to win, which they always do, they want the best guy out there in the ninth most of the time, and the best guy at the back of the bullpen's been Vesia.
Okay. Hey, man, look, I barely heard your take because I'm having internet issues, but ultimately, you know, whatever I heard, ultimately Vesia probably is going to the guy that's much up next, up now, and then we'll see who's up next in a couple weeks. Same kind of thing with Santana. It's a matter of just, can he hold on to the job or not? And, it's going to be him that's make or break. He's going to be the one that either hangs himself or props him up and runs away with the job. Coming up next, we got guys like Randy Rodriguez, Paddack, and others that either benefit from the trade deadline and people moving on, or are going to be stepping up in a position. Coming up next.
And all right, time to fuel up and turn it up with 5-Hour Energy Transfusion. It brings the bold grape, ginger, and lime flavor of your favorite golf drink minus the alcohol into a quick, energizing shot. Whether you're sinking birdies or just making memories with your friends, this one's a hole-in-one for your energy game. Let's be honest, some days on the course or off it, you just need that extra boost to stay sharp and energized. Golf is all about good times with good people and good flavors, of course. The grape ginger lime flavor gives you the best parts of your clubhouse go-to without chasing down the bev cart. If you go to 5hourenergy.com today, that is the number 5hourenergy.com, you can use the promo code LOCKEDONGolf to receive 20% off your order. This offer is valid only till September 30th on one order offer and cannot be used with other promotions. The code is not good on subscription orders. Whether you're meeting up with friends or you're just trying to turn 18 holes into 36, get the energizing boost you need to power through. Order Transfusion flavored 5-hour energy shots today. And all right, guys, one more time before we jump back in, just want to talk about the insider track one more time. I know this is a tough time of year. A lot of us are transitioning over to football. You're kind of getting locked in over there. Drafts coming up, baseball might not be at the top of your mind. So let Matt and I do the thinking for you, right? Join us on the insider's track. We're going to get instant call-up notifications going right to your phone. So it takes the thinking out of it, right? You say, oh, these are the guys I should pick up. This is how I should prioritize them. You get the instant prospect call-up notifications, the trade deadlines right around the corner. You can send us trades that you're getting, and just so much more than we offer in these 30-minute episodes. So give us a chance on the Insiders track. The link's in the bio wherever you're listening, watching, and it's available on any of our social media platforms. But all right, Matt, you know what? I'll jump in. I'll keep it pushing here. I'll take this next guy. Let's do Randy Rodriguez, another closer here. Closer's gone wild. A lot of impact here. Camilo Doval goes over to those New York Yankees, right? My New York Yankees, Matt's New York Yankees. That bullpen's looking dangerous, but Randy Rodriguez is going to close now over in San Francisco, having a really, really good year. He's been struggling of late, but having a really good season overall. 44 appearances for Randy Rodriguez, 3 wins, a save, 1.20 ERA, 0.84 whip, 45 innings, 62 strikeouts, and Randy Rodriguez is 32% owned. As I mentioned, his last outing wasn't that good. He's getting the chance to close now. He gets to prove himself. Young kid, 25 years old, got pretty good stuff. The underlying stuff looks pretty good for him. The thing is, he does get hit fairly hard, but plays in that big ballpark, so it works for him, right? He has the fastball, sits 97, batters hitting 171 against it. 2-pitch pitcher this year. Then he throws the slider, batters hitting 189 against that, throws it 86, got 11 mile per hour difference on those 2 pitches. I like what Rodriguez does. Could close for the Giants down the stretch, but once again, the caveat that Matt threw out for the last 2 guys applies here. Let's see how he does with the closer's job. I do have some faith, though, because he does have good stuff. Young, and I think he's going to be ready to take this role. Matt, I think you're muted, my brother.
Thank you. So I like the fact that he gets the opportunity. I just don't know if he can hold the job. I heard everything he said, but also too with Ryan Walker up behind him and the ability that he was able to display last year. Maybe he gets a little re-energized and is able to take the job back. So I don't think Randy has as long as a leash as we would think. And if Ryan Walker starts showing out the point that he could come up and take the job back, because he was trusted and he had the job over Duvall to start the season. So there's no reason that they might not try to, put him back in the position now. So we'll see. It's just a matter of time to see if Randy can hang himself or not, or if just the organization is just going in the direction of Ryan Walker. But let's move on. Let's talk about Chris Paddack. Paddack playing for those Detroit Tigers and is 20% owned. This is some fun stuff. It's interesting. He's going to be going up against next week the Minnesota Twins, which is going to be fun.
The team that just traded him away. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah. So, it's going to be an interesting one. Obviously, I like the landing spot better just because, hey, you're now in a better pitching park. Things are better. The team's better, all that stuff. I don't think it changes my outlook on Paddack as a whole. Last 2 starts have been good against Arizona and Pittsburgh, but, those are 2 teams that are either on or they're not, and most of the time they're not. So, clearly they weren't, but, when you go up against teams like the Rangers, Minnesota, Athletics, Pittsburgh lit him up again. Cincy, he hasn't been the picture of great baseball, performance. But I think this next start should be interesting just because they pretty much went full send on the sales, and they turned their team into a flea market. So, Chris just has a chance in terms of putting out at least a good outing against them, since I don't think they really have anything left on that team. So I think I'm willing to roll Paddack out for this start and then see where this journey takes us in the next one.
Yeah, man, I'm with you on Paddack. I like it. It's a good landing spot. A little bit better defense behind him, bigger park. I think there's upside here. It's more of a deeper league play. I'd say your AL onlys and your 15s are I definitely go out there and look to add Paddack. Anything shallower than that. Your deep 12s, maybe throw him on the watch list and see how it performs here with Detroit. 20% owned once again for Paddack here. He was interesting a few years ago, then got injured, never really got back to form. Last two starts, as Matt mentioned, have been good. So ride the wave here while Paddack is pitching good. Let's move on to our last pitcher of the episode. Let's talk about Jeffrey Springs. I think he's the only name that not impacted by the trade deadline. But you know what? Springs is he hasn't been bad this year. 21 starts, 10 wins, a 4 ERA, 117 whip, 126 innings, 102 strikeouts. Not bad. And his last two starts have been stellar as well. When it went out against Seattle in his last one on July 30th, 6 innings, got the win, 7 strikeouts, 1 earned run, 0.5 whip. Very good outing for Springs there. And then on July 25th, Springs against Houston Astros, who have been great. 6 innings, got the win, 5 strikeouts, 2 earned runs, 0.83 whip. So he's on the upswing. As I mentioned, the numbers on the year haven't been too bad for Springs. Not dominant, but at the back of your rotation, that's fine. You'll take it. 41% owned on Yahoo. A nice little ad. And then who does he got next week? Let's see. Bear with me. The Nationals. Not a horrible matchup. Not a horrible matchup. You get around, James Wood and Abrams over there, and there's not too many other guys on that team that are going to hurt you big time. So Springs, nice little sneaky ad while he's hot.
Yeah, no, I like Springs. I mean, he's so up and down and volatile, but I'm still willing to roll him out there in the right matchup. And honestly, um, you know, solid year if you really just take away, April, which was the rough start at 6.04 ERA, but then 3.58, 2.90, 3.71, pitching pretty good. Uh, he's definitely worth the ad at this point, and seeing what we can get out of him. If we can start seeing that strikeout upside we saw a couple years ago, it's going to be even more interesting. Again, a guy that I was really hopeful for coming into the season. We could see a second half breakout, bounce back. I think I wouldn't be surprised ultimately. But let's move on. Let's sneak this last guy in before the break. Talk about Cedric Mullins, now a New York Met, 54% owned, playing outfield out there. And it was an interesting acquisition, to say the least. Again, another guy that was not on my bingo card to get moved or to end up on the Mets of all teams, but is having a pretty decent year outside of the batting average. 42 runs, 15 bombs, 49 ribs, 14 stolen bases, batting 229, but over the last month, batting 290. This last week, 4 runs, 2 bombs, 7 ribs, batting 450, really crushing it. Honestly, look, Mullins is kind of like a ride the wave kind of type deal. I feel if anything, he kind of gets downgraded going from Baltimore to the Mets because now it's a bigger park and it's a less of a hitter friendly park. But I'm going to ride the heat wave and see if the Met energy and the chance to really make the playoffs and go deep can give Mullins a boost of energy. So him being 54% owned, definitely trying to add him in shallow leagues. I'm 100% trying to add him. So just do what you can and ride this wave until the wheels fall off.
Yeah, man. I like the landing spot for Mullins, but it's been tough in Baltimore this year, man. I kind of want to see where he's going to hit in this lineup. I think that's going to make a difference for me. I'm on roster resource right now. They got him projected 7th. I hate that for him. If he was hitting 9th, it'd be awesome because then you have Nimmo, Lindor, Soto right behind you and Alonso. So a lot more runs potential if he does hit 9th. Not sure if that's going to happen. Power speed combo here. Underlying stuff doesn't love him, especially for the batting average, so I don't think that's going to get much better. But a sneaky little ad here for a player that has some upside going to, from a bad team to a pretty good team. But before we jump in and talk about the rest of these bats, like Ramon Laureano, who went to San Diego, and Carlos Correa is back in Houston. Those names and more coming up next.
Today's episode is brought to you by Game Day U, and their perfectly designed hats. Game Hue makes clean, no logo gear with team-inspired colorways for every pro and college fan base. It's for all about letting your colors speak for you and no giant logos, just smart, versatile style that works on game day. and of course, or on the course or anywhere in between. I love rocking it, of course, in the subtle, stylish, and yet I get to rep my team. The hat pairs perfectly with most of my stuff, like my jerseys and such. It doesn't replace my team logo stuff, but it also just throws a little bit of a little freshness into the mix, right? The sweet hat. Well, not they gave me a sweet hat. Picked the Phillies colors to go with the jersey I got, but also matches my jersey. It's pretty lit. So you just get to go and mix and match all through it. It's awesome, right? And since there's no logo, I get to mix and match with my teams. Right now, you can get 15% off with the code MLB15 at gamedayhue.com. That's gamedayhue.com. The code even stacks on bundle deals, so now is the time to load up. Let your colors talk because colors speak words. That's gamedayhue.com, MLB 15. And all right. Dom, if you got this next guy up, I'd really appreciate it. If not, I can hit it.
No, I got it. I'm good and
You.
I'm ready to go. Ramon Laureano goes over to the San Diego Padres. And if you haven't been paying attention, Ramon Laureano's having actually a pretty good year. 82 games played, 290 batting average, 45 runs, 15 homers, 46 RBIs, 4 steals. The thing with Laureano is he's always been pretty solid when healthy, but injuries have plagued him his whole career. Honestly, in his last game, Laureano went 5 for 7 with 5 runs. That's wild. 2 for 4 in the game before that with 3 RBIs and a home run. He's been red hot of late. 34% owned on Yahoo. He's just been around a long time. We kind of know who he is. There's power there. Maybe not so much speed as he's gotten older, but he's still capable of stealing a bag every now and then. Also, kind of want to see where he's going to be projected to hit in the San Diego lineup. If he has a good spot, makes him even more appealing. Looks like, damn, why is everyone got traded hitting 7th? Damn. So Laureano looks like he's projected to hit 7th in this lineup. I could see him maybe moving up to 6th, which I'd like a little bit better. I don't think he's going to get that 9 hole, to be honest. Like, I think Mullins might be able to. But a nice little, if you need the batting average, I'd go Laureano. If you want more of the power speed combo, I'd go Mullins. But both of these outfielders definitely have some upside, after their trade. So once again, Ramon Laureano goes over to the Padres, 34% owned on Yahoo, and he plays outfield.
Yeah, no, I mean, well said. I mean, the way Laureano's playing, it's definitely worth having him on your team. And yeah, we'll see. Let's move on. Let's talk about Carlos Correa, coming back to the, Houston Astros. And for me, for fantasy, I won't add him now just because he was hot, batting 278 over the last week, 294 over the last 2 weeks, and 300 over the last month. In terms of counting stats, I'm not really impressed, and I don't think that this wave is going to be long at all. I don't care about him coming back to Houston. He left not in a blaze of glory, but in a blaze of dust hitting him on his way out, trying to hide where he's going, and then ended up where he landed. So I mean, it was just a whole thing. So for me with Correa, I'm gonna ride the wave, and I'm gonna see where this thing is going. I think we're actually at the start of things because of the way he's starting off. Even with the move, it's different midseason move versus offseason move with a new team, a new player, new team, because I feel like there's less stress. They're just moving midseason in game mode versus moving your whole family midseason, or I mean, moving your whole family in the off season. So I think Carlos Correa personally is probably going to go on a tear for at least a week or two, and then probably going to fall off a cliff. 26% owned, quite honestly. Add him now and then drop him the cliff, which I think will be in about 2 weeks.
Yeah, Correa is such an interesting one. As much as I'd hate to say it, I think there's a chance he goes over there and he's pretty good. Correa is projected to hit 3rd in this lineup, behind Altuve. And honorable mention, Jesus Sanchez goes over to Houston too in the trade deadline.
I like that a lot better, truthfully.
And he's hitting 2nd. They have him projected to slot in hitting 2nd. So in deeper formats, Jesus Sanchez, take a look at him as well. I think when Pena comes back, though, Pena kind of goes back to the top of the lineup, and I think Sanchez moves down. But I think Correa stays in that 3 hole. A lot of RBIs, runs could be okay. Batting average. That's what Correa does. I think he's always going to have a good batting average. Power, I don't know how much power Correa is actually going to tap into. 7 home runs in 93 games sounds about right if he finishes the year with like 15, 16. I think that sounds about right as well, maybe even less, to be honest. But interesting pickup, 26% owned on Yahoo, Carlos Correa. Let's keep things going. We talked about this guy, I want to say like 2 weeks ago on the IL Stash episode, and if you stashed him, you already have him. It's Kerry Carpenter of those Detroit Tigers, one of the better teams in baseball. And Carpenter's having himself, very Kerry Carpenter, solid year. 81 games played, 264 batting average, 43 runs, 17 bombs, 35 RBIs, and a stolen base. He's got power. He's going to hit for a decent batting average. The runs should be pretty solid. I think the RBIs can pick up because Kerry Carpenter's been hitting third in this Detroit lineup. That's pretty solid. On July 29th, Carpenter went 3 for 5 with 2 runs. On July 30th, Carpenter went 2 for 3 with a home run and 3 RBIs. He's on the upswing. Nice young player with a good bat. Somebody that I think could be very useful down the stretch. So if you didn't already stash Kerry Carpenter and have him on your team, now's a good time to go out there and check if he's on your waiver wire. Once again, Kerry Carpenter, Detroit Tigers outfielder, 54% owned on Yahoo. I think there's some upside here with this young player.
Well said. I mean, I like what he's done over the last 2 weeks. I think we're about to see, the fruits of our labor here, because we've been touting him since before the season even started, because we honestly thought that he was going to have a breakout season before the injury.
We did.
So I mean, they picked up right where he planned to leave off, and I mean, this could be a second half, so I'm definitely adding him and just seeing where this journey takes us and the way they're playing. It's just going to be so much fun to see if he can really lock in and kind of join in the madness and really shake up the AL even more. Let's move on. Let's talk about our last guy here, Joey Lo Profito, playing for the Toronto Blue Jays, outfielder, and he's about 2% owned as a deep league play. I don't know if I'm really adding him, with confidence for long-term aspirations in shallower leagues, but Lo Profito is somebody that has power. I think he has a big bat, just hasn't really come to full fruition. Last year, he played about 243 at bats, and when he got called up, he was absolutely crushing the ball in the minors and struggled when he got to the bigs. And I liked the trade last year when he got moved from Houston to the Blue Jays, and I'm very just surprised that he really hasn't played all that much. I don't know too much about his background, but whether he was hurt or not, but ultimately, like, since he's been playing, over the last 2 weeks, 5 runs, 2 bombs, 3 ribs, a stolen base, batting .410. And that's kind of the key part for me. He's crushing it right now. There is some young upside that I think we should probably just pay attention to. Add him now or ride the wave, and obviously don't be patient with the kid. But I also wouldn't be surprised if he just goes on a tear and might actually have some long-term value. But again, zero patience. Second he falters, drop. But also, too, don't be surprised if he does turn into a long-term play.
Yeah, man, I think it's a strong take. Lo Profito was a fairly high-end prospect, before the trade and everything like that. Didn't pan out in the bigs, really struggled. But as you mentioned, this year, through 19 games, 396 batting average, 6 runs, 3 homers, 8 RBIs, a steal. In his last game on July 30th, Lo Profito was moved up to the leadoff spot for this Toronto team. And if you're hitting behind Springer, Vlad, and Bichette, I mean, that's going to be a lot of runs. The power is semi legit. He's got a little bit of power in this bat that he could tap into. Even the underlying stuff for batting average says 303 batting average. So the batting average looks pretty solid so far. Like you said, deeper league play, 5 outfielders, AL onlys, 15, stuff like that. That's where you're really looking into a guy like Joey Lo Profito. Everywhere else, throw him on your watch list, kind of see, what pans out for the kid. Because, Matt, as you mentioned, I'm right there with you. There might be a long-term potential here with Lo Profito. But, guys, that is all for today. Shout out to our everydayers and new listeners making Locked On Fantasy Baseball your first listen each and every day. And then for your second listen, check out the all-new Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, all season long. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcast. But guys, until next time. So
peace.